Welcome back to From Trash to Treasure, where ordinary people like you and me take old, unwanted items that would otherwise end up in the scrapyard and transform them into something beautiful and brand new. I can't wait to see what you've done with your items. But before we get to that, please give this video a thumbs up and let's meet today's contestant.
Hi, I live in North Carolina, and this is my project.
I bought this clawfoot bathtub from an estate sale for $25.
It's definitely seen better days, so I have big plans for it. Tell us about those plans. What are you going to make? I plan on cutting out a section of the tub, turning it into a garden bench, and then painting it to match my house. Wow, that sounds amazing. Let's get started. Before you begin your project, make sure you take some measurements and do a little bit of planning. Here's an example of what you could do to prepare for your project. This is the area that I'm going to be cutting out of the bathtub. It will be the back and the arms of the bench. And here's what the whole thing will look like once it's all said and done. I'm very excited about this project. It looks like you have a good idea of exactly what you want, which is always helpful. Also, make sure to clean your item before you start. Sometimes you never know what kind of bacteria or germs may be hanging around in there. It's best to be safe than sorry. Check out these super simple cleaning tips to help you out. Now it's time to get creative. I love watching transformation videos, and I think that cutting out part of this bathtub is gone. Be just the right amount of challenging. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm using a cutoff wheel on my angle grinder to cut this. The metal is really thick, so it's taking a while. If you don't have a cutoff wheel, you can also use a hacksaw, but it might take a little bit longer. Once you're finished cutting, make sure you smooth out all the edges so you don't accidentally hurt yourself. I'm so happy with how this is turning out. Just remember safety first when working with power tools. And if you need to take a break, just step away for a minute and come back to it later. Now let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I can't wait to get this thing painted. That's my favorite part. This is an old bathtub, so it does have a lot of rust on it. Rust is caused by water and oxygen reacting with iron or steel. The good news is, there are many ways you can prevent rust from forming. First, make sure the surface is completely dry. Then you're going to want to apply a rust inhibitor or a rust converter. I think these are both great products and will help keep the rust from coming back. Next, we're going to sand the entire surface with a wire brush or a sandpaper. You want to roughen the surface up a bit so the paint will stick. Next, I am going to wipe down the tub with a cloth and some mineral spirits to remove any dust from sanding. Then I'll put on my first coat of primer. Primer helps the paint adhere to the surface. It's especially important to use primer when painting over metal. Make sure you use a brush that's meant for painting metal. They have stiff bristles that help prevent the paint from peeling or flaking off. When working with a small surface like this, you can use a smaller brush. For larger areas, I like to use a foam roller. Once the primer is dry, it's time for the fun part, painting. I chose a nice soft vintage blue to match the color scheme of my house. I'm using chalk paint, so I won't have to worry about it peeling. Be sure to use paint that's made for outdoor use. You can find it at most hardware stores. I'm applying several thin coats instead of one thick coat. This helps the paint last longer and look better. You can use a paint sprayer if you like, but make sure you use a sprayer that's meant for chalk paint or ULL have some serious problems. I didn't want this project to take forever, so I decided to leave the bottom part of the tub unpainted. It's going to be under the seat cushion, so you can't see it. Also, I want to add some stain to this, and I'm afraid it'll ruin the paint job. While the paint is drying, let's work on the legs. I bought these at a local home improvement store. They're unfinished, so I'm going to stain them to match the rest of the bench. Before staining, make sure you sand the legs to expose a little bit of the metal, then wipe them down with a cloth to remove any dust. Now it's time to apply the stain. I'm using a small brush because it's easier to control. I'm applying the stain according to the manufacturer's instructions. Some stains require multiple coats, so be sure to read the label. While the stain is drying, let's work on the cushion for the bench. I bought a 3-inch thick foam cushion that's meant for outdoor use. It's going to be firm and comfortable at the same time. You can buy a pre-made cushion that fits the exact dimensions of the bench, or you can make your own. You'll need some fabric, stuffing, and a sewing machine. Here's an example of how you can make your own outdoor cushion. First, you're going to cut out 2 pieces of fabric. I'm using a rotary cutter, but you can also use scissors. Next, Place the foam on top of one of the pieces of fabric and trace around it. Repeat for the second piece. Now, we're going to sew around the edge, leaving a gap for stuffing. Turn it right side out, add the stuffing, and then sew up the gap. You're going to secure the foam to the bench. You can use staples or screws. I prefer using screws because they're stronger and they won't damage the fabric. The legs are looking great and the paint is dry. I'm so excited to start putting this thing together. I'm using exterior wood glue to attach the legs to the bench. I'm also using screws for extra support. Make sure you pre-drill holes for the screws or you'll damage the wood. It's so exciting to see this thing come together. I'm so glad I got this old bathtub out of the landfill. It's going to be a beautiful addition to my backyard. I'm going to put some outdoor throw pillows on it to complete the look. I think it's going to be the perfect place to relax and enjoy the outdoors. And here's the finished project. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, my guest absolutely nailed it. She took an old bathtub that nobody wanted and turned it into a beautiful outdoor sofa. This would cost hundreds of dollars if you were to buy it somewhere else. It looks fantastic where she put it in her garden. I bet you'll be seeing her at the next garden party. You did an amazing job. Congratulations on completing your makeover. It's time for our judges to give their critiques, and it is time for me to give my critique. I thought this was such a clever idea. I love how you cut the tub to make the back and armrests. It's really well done. I also love how you painted it. The color is perfect. It looks so nice and inviting. The stain on the legs looks great too. I love how you added the outdoor pillows. It really completes the look. Overall, this is a fantastic makeover. And now it's time for our guest to reveal the final cost of her project. She spent $25 on the bathtub and then another $40 on supplies. It's a total of $65 for this beautiful outdoor sofa. Our judges have given this project a total of 8 out of 10 points. With a cost of only $65, this project has earned a Thrifty Makeover score of $715. Welcome to the Thrifty Makeover Hall of Fame. I am so excited to award you with a $200 gift certificate to a local home improvement store. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out the other episodes in our library. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. See you next time. Welcome back to From Trash to Treasure, where we take unwanted items from all around the world and turn them into something amazing. Today we are taking an old broken piano and turning it into a rustic, industrial-style home bar. So let's get started. I am your host, and my co-host today is none other than the one and only. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe and leave us a comment. We love reading your comments. This video was filmed in Houston, Texas, and look at this gorgeous piece that we have. This is an old upright piano that has been sitting in someone's house for over 20 years. The owner had even put new strings on this piano. Fortunately, the person who owned it passed away, and the family had no use for the piano, so they were going to simply throw it out. Fortunately, our amazing builder saw the potential in this old piano and talked the family into letting him have it instead. Our builder has built some cool stuff in the past. He built a really cool fire pit table from a vintage Singer sewing machine. But today's project will definitely be his most ambitious yet. Let's see how he does. In order to build this project, the first thing that has to happen is the disassembly of the piano. To do that, you first have to remove the keys, then the front panel, and then the music desk. It's pretty amazing how these things are made. There's so many little tiny pieces that all fit together perfectly. It's actually incredible. After the disassembly of the piano, the next step is to clean everything up. You would be amazed at what you can find inside of a piano. It's amazing. You've got old receipts, pictures of families. Our builder even found a cigar from 1984 inside of here. And as you can imagine, it did not smell good. Next, our builder is reinforcing the back of the piano with some metal brackets. That way when he cuts into it, it won't collapse in on itself. After that, he's starting to cut into the side of the piano and remove some of this wood. He's going to keep the frame intact, but remove some of the wood so that it looks more rustic industrial. Also, he's adding in some extra bracing inside of there, because it needs to hold up some weight. He doesn't want this thing to fall apart. To help support the shelves that he's going to add into the piano, our builder is putting in some L brackets inside of here. After that, he's cutting down some of these shelves to the correct size and then screwing them into the brackets. Next, he's going to add in some glass holders, or a glass rail in front of the shelf. That way it will keep everything in place. While our builder is finishing up the shelves, our painter is cleaning off the piano. All that sawdust is really sticking to this thing, and it's gone need a fresh coat of paint. It's going to be a real fun process painting this thing. It's going to be super difficult to get into all of these nooks and crannies. As soon as the shelves are finished being installed, our electrician is going to start running power to the lights that will be going inside of the piano. It's amazing how sturdy this thing actually is. I'm shocked at how strong it is. Thought it would be very flimsy, but so far it's holding up great. Now the fun begins. It's time to add in the LED rope lights into the piano. It's looking absolutely amazing. It's always so cool to see these builds come together, and it's even cooler to see something so unexpected come together like this. Next, our electrician is going to wire up the switch for the lights. It's always so crazy when you see these electricians work. They make it look so easy. At this point, our painter has gotten the first coat of paint on the piano. As you can see, it's looking absolutely amazing. It's going to look so good once it's finished. Our painter is also painting the trim pieces that will go on the bottom and the top of the piano. This piano is getting a really cool, modern, industrial farmhouse look, and this color is perfect. It's going to look so good once it's finished. And wow, check out the amazing transformation on the piano so far. Our painter has finished the second and final coat of paint. What a difference a paint makes. This thing is looking absolutely amazing. This piano is truly getting a remarkable transformation. And now that it's painted, it's time to add the finishing touches. Our builder is now installing the trim on the piano. This trim is going to hide all the imperfections that he couldn't quite get to. It's going to add some contrast to the piano and separate it from the rest of the bar area. It's also going to add some much-needed character. Next, our builder is adding in some nice hooks to hang glasses from the piano. Now it's time to install the backboard for behind the piano. And look at this thing. It's coming together so nicely. It's going to look so good once the lights are turned on. Now, it's time to add in some shelves that will match the piano. These shelves will be on either side of the piano. And to make sure that these shelves are level, our builder is using a level and a plumb bob. If you don't know what a plumb bob is, it's basically a weight that hangs straight down due to gravity. It's used to make sure that something is level. Next, our builder is going to install the last of the shelves and add in the Edison bulb lights. This is really starting to come together, and look at this thing. Isn't this just amazing? Love seeing these types of transformations. And now our builder is making a small cutting board that will sit on top of the bar. It's going to look great. Speaking of great, we've got a bar. It's time to set this baby up. Next, our team is going to set up the bar and put in some bottles and liquor and everything. And look at this thing. Look at this beautiful piano bar. Isn't this just absolutely amazing, my goodness. And here's a close-up of the shelves and the lights. It's amazing how much character this piano has. You can truly see the history and the soul of the piano through the grain of the wood and the wear marks. And it was really cool how our builder was able to keep as much of the original piano as possible. The only thing that's not original is the paint job in the shelves. Everything else is from the original piano. And look at this thing. It's just so cool how it came out. And look at the glass front. It's so cool. And here's the finished product, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this thing. It's absolutely amazing. The piano has been transformed into a one-of-a-kind conversation piece. It's the perfect addition to any home. This piano is now a fully functional bar with shelves for glasses, liquor, and other bar essentials. The piano's rich history and unique character are evident in its beautiful wood grain and worn details. The piano's keys have been carefully removed and preserved, serving as a reminder of its former life as a musical instrument. The piano's soundboard has been left exposed, adding to its rustic charm. The piano is painted a deep black, which contrasts beautifully with the natural wood tones. The result is a stunning conversation piece that is sure to impress guests. Whether you're hosting a party or just relaxing at home, this piano bar is the perfect way to do it. And with its convenient fold-down counter, it's easy to use and easy to store away when not in use. This piano bar is truly a one-of-a-kind piece of furniture that is sure to be treasured for years to come. It's not just a bar, it's a piece of history. And that's all for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're still watching, please leave us a comment. We love reading your comments and we love replying to them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on From Trash to Treasure.